I've been given. Like,
Are we live? Of course I'm live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. First things first, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everyone's had a week to remember / had a good week. Crushing your goals, hopes, dreams and aspirations. Hope you're all enjoying your Friday by that same logic. As usual, wishing you and your loved ones the best health. And yeah, man, hope everyone's doing well and safe. Good morning where the UK is concerned. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and even in some cases good night. Please make sure you comment straight away, get your comments and opinions in and drive up the engagement. Do me a favor, please make sure you hit the like button. Obviously throughout this live stream we're going to speak about Arsenal Watford. We're going to cover certain transfer news. We're going to go over ARTETA's press conference, and then yeah, man, whatever else it takes us, it is what it is, people. As I said, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Please make sure you hit the like button. As usual, the haters are out there, but yeah, I hope you lot are in good spirits. Make sure you hit the like button, and you're also setting your reminders, people, because hella content. I haven't set everything up yet, but live from 12 p.m. tomorrow, I'll be watching the Manchester derby. Sunday, there'll be 3 live streams because we're going to do Arsenal, Watford, West Ham, Liverpool, and then we'll have a little reaction live stream centered around what happens in the Arsenal-Watford game and the ramifications. Like you can see, as Deluded's put in there, smash the like button, people. Can we get to 100 likes? And again, the latest information, don't forget to subscribe to my Twitch. One love to everybody who was part of the Twitch stream at 10 a.m. On that, 4 p.m, I'm going to be playing Football Manager again. If you're watching my Football Manager content purely on YouTube, you're going to be extremely behind. I've got the episodes all uploaded, but I've got to bring them out. So by the time you're up to speed, who knows, Arsenal probably would have won the league. It's Friday, people, DG time. Caress that like button on the way in, Joe, 100%. Again, in relation to Arsenal, Watford, Clement is saying players to watch are Ismail Assar, Josh King. They got a couple of players and they can play a bunch of positions. They sit 16th allegedly with 10 points and have 3 wins, 6 losses and a draw. So again, they're gonna want to put that right under their new manager, man. Big up the right back. I appreciate that. I'm replaying that intro now. Fair play. Good morning from my end, Matthew. Good morning, man. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. P-Mav. Appreciate you. Shout out to, as you said, the usual suspects. Shout out to the members, moderators, subscribers, long-term supporters, new-term supporters. It is what it is, man. Whenever you found out about this, I appreciate you lot, man. And as I always say, it's a privilege to be here day in, day out with you guys, people, because again, the engagement levels, the comments, the opinions, the viewpoints, everything is just spot on. Make sure you're obviously hitting the like button of the video we're currently on, and set your reminders for Arsenal versus Watford, where the watch-along business is concerned. Wouldn't want you lot to miss out. Good morning from the US. Big up yourself, James, and I hope everyone in America is doing well and safe, like everyone, man. I'll take a light 30 for Guendouzi. Hoovering as always. To be fair to you, we probably can't get that because we agreed a fee with Marseille that they can buy him for £9 million. So they're gonna make a little profit on him, people. It is what it is. Don't take Watford for granted. I don't want to see complacency. As you said, you don't want to see complacency. Complacency in life, much less football, is a killer. We go into that game 9 games unbeaten. The challenge is obviously, can you remain 10 games unbeaten? Whether we're able to do that is another thing, people. And on that, we might as well just kick off straight away with previewing Arsenal versus Watford, man, because I'm not going to lie to you, as much as I want to talk about it, people, it's not what I'm most excited or want to speak about today, people, again. So let's slap that in there. 4 minutes, let's say Arsenal v Watford preview. Now, for me, people, I want to win for several reasons. As I've previously said to you, there's no months in the year anymore for me. From now until Jan, you need to get out of the Jan. You need to get into January still doing what you're kind of doing now. Doesn't necessarily have to be unbeaten. I would love it to be unbeaten. But what I mean is, mathematically, the way you're playing, the way mathematically it's looking, you're in with a shout of top 4. And obviously, you see the leagues, there's probably about 5 different mini leagues. There's a different relegation mini league going on. There's the top 3 have their own, statistically, West Ham can't say they're not in a title challenge. They're level on points with City, I believe. But there's a mini league where Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester City are concerned. Then obviously where Manchester United, Watford, Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs, maybe, mathematically a couple other teams as well. Everton, I'm sure, at the start of the year, they were running away with it. There's another mini league in relation to 4th. Now, for me, you lot are smart enough. we don't need to. We need to improve on finishing 8th. You know, minimum. I would love a 6th place finish. Personally, I don't know if we've got that in us. I would 6th should be the minimum. 5th would be ideal. I say that. You know, 5th would be ideal. 6th should be the minimum. Competing is the absolute minimum. The absolute dream is to be playing Champions League football. Now, whether we've got that, I don't know. There's still a lot of football to play. We've got AFCON to come. You know, right now we've been playing well. There's been no injuries. We've had a squad, but like you saw at the start of the season, you don't always get that luxury. Injuries happen. While they're valid, we need to make things happen. And obviously, we've got a young squad that show their quality, but sometimes have showed their inexperience as well, people. So, you know, there's a long way to go. And for me, respectfully to Watford, you cannot, like you lot said, you can't be complacent. Watford are not, you know, they're better than their form. It's saying they've got quality players. They've got a quality manager. They all should want to play for their new manager. They're fighting for Premier League survival very early on. They're not picking up too many wins. So there's pride on the line. So you've got to be careful where it's all great for Arsenal. So, of course, looking at it, you'd expect Arsenal to win. But it's all, you know, we need to apply ourselves. I think when we took the lead against Crystal Palace, we assumed just off the back of our good form that we're going to win. That's not the case. Now, for us, obviously, we're 9 games unbeaten. Can you make it 10? Can you go into the international break with a bit of insurance? You know, go into the international break on a high, because it would be 10 games unbeaten. You know, we've got a week where not too many of you are going to go and play for your countries. We've got a week or so to prepare for Liverpool. And we've also got that insurance in beating Watford, assuming we did that, we got 3 points. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool should be a write-off. I'm not saying we should go there and not try and win. We should be trying to do what Brighton did. Just when you try and apply yourself, you can walk away with something, but you need a bit of insurance. And one thing I've liked this season is when teams have been in bad form, like Leicester, like Spurs, and like Villa, in previous years, these teams play us, they morph, they morph, and they go and win games, and they look like a prime Barca. We've been able to strike while the iron is hot. I don't think we've been able to, we've learned any lessons in that. We've gone against some big teams and performed against them, and we've got some, you know, we've got Liverpool that will be a big test. You've got Everton away where we lost last year. There'll be other tests, but we need that insurance. And obviously you want to keep the good form going. It's all great for us at this moment in time, people. You know, we've got players fit, people are challenging for spots. You know, our new signings, you're seeing what they're doing. You know, Aubameyang, Lacazette, they've rediscovered themselves and found their ability again. Saying that, Lacazette's continuing his form from the end of last year. So everything's going our way. It's down to us now to keep going. And obviously, you look at some of the fixtures this week. We need to keep going, because obviously, if you beat Watford, you know, you stand in good stead. You know, Conte, obviously, I back him to turn things around at Spurs and whatnot, personally, sad to say. But they've got Everton away. Now, Everton aren't flying as high as they was at the start, but you've got them. You can't rule out Man United in a derby game. I think United might actually win it against City. But if you was a betting man, everyone's probably going to bet their house on Manchester City to win that. You've got the Manchester derby. You've got Spurs against Everton. You know, West Ham against Liverpool. West Ham are a good side. And again, 3 points is a big 3 points. But you get the point. There's some big games concerned. So if we're able to strike, we can do our thing. There's going to be times where we drop points. Everyone's going to drop points this season. It's naive to think Arsenal are going to get something out of every game from now to the end of the season. So I don't want to see the fans going to meltdown. I don't want to see anyone going to meltdown when we lose or draw, because these things will happen. But it doesn't mean that because it's going to happen, we need to accept it. And again, strike while the iron's hot. Listen, I've got nothing but respect and admiration for Ranieri. Watford are our London Coley brothers. We share the training grounds. They're probably spying on what we're doing. But you should be winning. Anything less than 3 points is unacceptable, people. You know, they play that 4-1, and they do have quality. You know, King, you saw what he did against Everton. We all know how good Ismail Assar is. You know, they've got other players that could stand up to be counted, but I want to go there and exploit things. That defense, you know, Foster, go and have some shots. He's shaky. Go and have some shots. He's more concerned about his YouTube career. That Mazzina brother, he's suspect. Cathcart is suspect. I like the right back Ngatia, but he's, you know, go and make him learn some lessons. We need to be on the front foot in a game like that. I'm not being funny, but you look at their last, what's this? 1, 2, oh gosh, sorry, I can't even count. Apologies, people. You look at their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Last 5 games, they drew 1-1 against Newcastle. They lost a goal to nil against Leeds. You know, they lost 5-0 to Liverpool. They scored. They came back from behind and beat Everton. Apologies, 5-2. Then they went and lost to Southampton. So that's what. 1 win in the last 5 games, people. They've taken 4 points in their last 5 games. Go and exploit them. And if we go further up, people, you know, They have made it difficult for people. Spurs only walked away with a 1-0 victory. They do have quality, but they haven't got too many wins on the board this season. Go and exploit that. Go and make that tough. It's simple as that, people. And then you look at the table. You can't just be looking at form and them thing there. But we're 6th, 17 points. As I said, you've got 4th place against 2nd place in West Ham, Liverpool. You've got 5th against 3rd in Man United, City. Take your opportunities. You've got 9th against 10th in Tottenham versus Everton. Bearing in mind, United are ahead of us on goal difference. We've got -1. They've got 4, both on 17 points. Wolves and Brighton are on 16th place are on 16 points, each in 7th and 8th place respectively. Then you've got 9th and 10th place Everton and Spurs. Point separates them. Spurs have 15, Everton have 14. Leicester are on 14 points as well. So there's no margin for error. The table is going to trickle and turn, and you're going to be 4th or 5th, and then you're going to drop down. But this is where we need to account for, because we are still chasing points. We've put on a good winning run and won games, but we did draw against Brighton. We're not going to win all the time, and sometimes that's a good draw. It was a good draw, but we didn't turn up, if we're real with ourselves. We was very reactive. Palace, we dropped 2 points because we was in the lead. So, you've got to add them up. Of course, I'm not saying we're going to beat Manchester City or beat Chelsea, definitely at the start of the season, but that's 6 points gone. 9 when you consider Brentford. My point is to say this. You add up all them points I've said, that's the points tally Arsenal have dropped, and we could do the same among other clubs. And you have to remember, we're going to drop other points. So as much as it's about winning, it's about doing things. I don't think Arsenal are in the top 4 hunt, but what I would like is for our players and the whole club to just believe that they can win it and apply themselves to get in there, because that means I'm going to see consistency, drive, guile, all of these things. As an Arsenal fan, G1, I'm tired of it being like November and December, and regardless of, because there's been times the league will look like how it looks like now, but Arsenal are not in the conversation. And again, 5th or 6th needs to, I don't even like saying that's the minimum, but that's the only, if there's no style of play and we don't, some of the unanswered questions, considering Arteta's been here for 2 years, are not solved, to go with not finishing respectively in the league in an improvement, it's a myth, and for me, I want to see, if I'm real with ourselves, I'm not belittling our performances. Hit the like button if you haven't. 75 people locked in. I need to see us play well for 90 minutes, because I don't think Watford are just going to rock up to the Emirates and think we're just going to walk all over them. Because if I'm Watford, I'd believe I could get something. As good as it's been with 9 games, that's the 9 games unbeaten to however many years people look at Arsenal and say it's a soft touch, it's an easy 3 points. Again, if I'm a rival, I would still feel disappointed if I don't get 3 points out of Arsenal. And if I'm Leicester, I'd feel disappointed that I never got something. Spurs, Villa, all the same. Not that Arsenal didn't play well. That's just where we are. 9 games against years, it doesn't work out. So while the sentiment is good, everyone's together, we need to keep going. Nothing has been achieved, and that's one thing I like in Arteta's old press conference the other day. He said it, but he's like, we've won a couple of games, we ain't done nothing, and it's Arteta's 100th game. Big up Raz, as he said, don't get rubbed out in your 100th game. Where's the time gone, really? And I'd say for Arteta, respectfully, 100th game, I'm sure if if we was to ask 10 Arsenal fans about him right now, obviously no one's going to sack him. Just like when we was moving mad at the start of the year, everyone would have probably said to move him on. I'm pretty sure if you ask, there'll be a varied opinion. So for Arteta, what's your 200th game for Arsenal, by God's grace, if it works out? What's that going to say? So don't get rubbed out on your 100th game. Don't get rubbed out going into the international break, because obviously it leaves a sour taste. Let's try and win, save some face. We'll focus for Liverpool, which realistically is a write-off. It's just about the way we perform. So we're going to need to stand up to be counted, people. It's as simple as that, people. It really is, 6th place against 16th, and they're fighting relegation again. Goal difference makes all the difference, and Burnley and Leeds would probably have to do a lot, in fact. But if Leeds win, Leeds go ahead of you. If Villa win, they make ground on top of you. If Burnley win, they draw parity with you. As I said, there's different mini leagues from 14th. Probably what you'd actually probably say mathematically, because there's only 2 points separating it. I would say from 12th, where Brentford are, to 20th, everybody's fighting for this thing now. Brentford have had a couple of normal results, I would say, after riding high. There's been a bit of issues there, so we're going to need to stand up to be counted. Obviously you're hoping Kieran Tierney's fit. We're going to go over Mikel Arteta's press conference in a second, but you're hoping Kieran Tierney and that is fit, and then we go out and do what we're doing, people. I hope Arteta's next 100 are better than the first. To be fair, he did win an FA Cup. Right, big up G1. Morning, DG. Great Twitch stream with Graham. Yes, quality. Appreciate that. That will be out today for the YouTubers as well. He weren't there. One love to everyone who was there at the time. Still believe Guendouzi has a future. The boy just needs to be coached. We'll get on to him in a sec. don't know. I haven't seen enough of Fernando to have an informed opinion on him. You know, Liverpool could drop out of the top four as AFCON will mess up their team big time. Mane and Firmino, Mane and Salah probably. But again, we could drop out of being in the hunt for top four. Car, we're losing bare man. Really, we're losing the key players. Really, people can say what they want about Pepe. Well, you need him in the squad. Definitely going to see the absence of Partey. Definitely going to miss Aubameyang. So I hope players stand up to be counted. Even El Nene, if injuries happen, what's there? Of course, I hope people stand up to be counted. But it's not always a that thing all the time, people, man. It's not always a that thing. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We're still only at 62 likes, people. So we're getting close. It's the hardest decision I would say is, do I start Martin Odegaard? I would say, man, really and truly. I wouldn't say Guendouzi is the midfielder we need. He's someone I would want in the team. I think need is the Locatellis and was the hours and all of them guys, the guys that can play next to Partey. I wouldn't say Guendouzi can, but you know, I do think people polarize opinions. I mean, people make out that he's overrated, which is not true. People make out that he's a world beater right now, which is not true. Love the guy, and we'll get on to that. Let's focus on Arsenal Watford. He's a quality player, but yeah, staying with Arsenal Watford again. In short, fighting to stay in the league. They're gonna want to fight. We're fighting for Europe. We've got an unbeaten run. Let's keep it going. Don't lose it cheaply. Don't cheat yourselves, people. You know, prepare for the break. You know, win. Prepare for Liverpool during the break in the right way. If we're, you know, in the ideal world, hopefully we put in a performance against Liverpool. If it doesn't work out, then you've given yourself a 3-point insurance, and the league can restart the next week, if that makes sense, really. Because again, you lot have seen our fixture list. We've got some tough games. If it don't look like tough games on paper, we've got tough games. And again, I feel like a broken record because we're always speaking about this, but just to paint the picture for those of you that aren't obviously aware of who we may or may not have. Again, obviously Watford on Sunday. Again, let me share the screen. And again, I have to say it's a January. It's for me. There's no new months. It's from November. It was from October, sorry, to December. We've got City on the first. You need to get into that City game in a good run of form. You've got Arsenal at home, Arsenal Watford. So we're playing Watford at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle, new manager. Eddie Howe will be there. They're fighting to stay in the league. They're gonna have an uptake in results. Man United at Old Trafford. How's that gonna go? Goodison Park. I badly want to win there because one of the poorest performances for me last season was our performance away from home at that place. Southampton's a bit of a bogey team. In form, West Ham away against Leeds is not easy. You've got the cup game. You're playing about two teams fighting relegation. You can say what you want about Norwich. You need to go and win that. Wolves, they look like they're doing a thing under their new manager. So no one's gonna hand you 3 points in this thing. And then obviously stop at City. So there's no margin for error. In ideal world, like I said, all I want to see is play to the home crowd, shoot. They will crumble. Watford, apologies, do not have the best of defenses. They'll probably morph, have a shot, test Foster, get miscommunications between that defense. We're scoring goals. Let's try and do that. Look, can we exploit set pieces? Can we have some movement? Come on, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. In relation to the lineup, now is the only thing I'm stuck on now. If we was to fixate on a lineup potentially, obviously Ramsdale picks himself. I do think Lacazette will drop to the bench for this game. I think it's going to be Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel. Pardon me, if Tierney's fit, I'm going to put Tierney / Tavares. If Tierney's fit, Tierney starts for me, but Tavares doesn't deserve to be dropped. And maybe, I know Tierney's going to be called to Scotland, but maybe it could be worth, Tavares, you deserve to hold on to your spot. Tierney, we focus on you against Liverpool, really and truly. That could be something. But yeah, man, if everybody's fit, Tierney would be my first choice. But, Tavares earns his spot. So it's Tierney / Tavares. So my back five unit consists of the obvious. Ramsdale picks himself, as does Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Tierney / Tavares. In midfield, I'm going with Thomas Partey, I think Lokonga. And then I personally think he's going to drop somebody, and Smith. I think Lacazette's going to get dropped. Smith Rowe's going to move back over to the left, and that's where Odegaard's going to come in. And I'm not actually against that for what it's worth, but for me, I'm going with Partey, Lokonga, Smith Rowe in the 10, Saka on the right. Saka, I need a big. You weren't bad, but I need to see something in terms of goal scoring and just looking better in the final third, despite your assist. Aubameyang plays for me, and then on the left. as I said, I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go for he's gonna go for Smith Rowe out there. But for me, I'll go with the same thing, man, with Lacazette. You know, let's go with that makeshift 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2. Even at elements, it turns into a 4-2-3-1 as Smith Rowe gravitates into pockets. Saka comes off that right hand side. Smith Rowe, as I said, buzzing in whatever. Aubameyang getting onto the last shoulder. Lacazette dropping deep to, you know, press the man who plays progressive passes. You know, Watford have a lot of energy and dynamism, and I don't think they're playing to their potential. So these are the things. And I think Lacazette dropping will do things. It opens up space for Aubameyang. You know, Aubameyang and Smith Rowe, they get there. I know a lot of talk is said about Lacazette and Smith Rowe and Saka's link up in particular, but especially when it comes to Smith Rowe and Aubameyang, no one's really giving them credit for how they're putting their little moves together and things like that. Smith Rowe is the conductor, and he does it with everyone. You know, even if that's why I don't mind Tavares playing, because I don't know what it is. Tierney hasn't had the best of seasons, but there's been a number of times he's put some good balls into that box and nobody's looked at it. But I also think Tavares and Smith Rowe against Villa, especially if we're going to do the 4-4-2 thing, they worked very well down the left-hand side. And for me, I really want it to be a very uncomfortable whole game for Watford. But I would say the first 10 minutes, I want to make it really uncomfortable. I want Ben Foster shouting at his centre-half shouting at fullbacks shouting at midfielders. Everyone, make them, well, if you score one goal, these lot have been in bad form. When you concede one goal, it's like, here we go again. Make them man crumble. The more you don't score, the more you're allowed to knock it about, the more confident Watford are going to get. Play the occasion. The beautiful thing about football is we're waffling about their form, what's happened, this, that, and the other. Half of this is going to be irrelevant come kickoff on Sunday. You know, form isn't everything. We had terrible form at our point going into Chelsea last year. No one gave us a chance. We went and won. So we can't expect that we have any divine rights. So my lineup would be, let's do the 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2 thing again. Same squad, really, realistically, apart from Tierney. No one deserves to be dropped. Everyone's earned their spot. I do, however, think, you know, the situation might change. I personally think Lacazette is going to get dropped to the bench. Smith Rowe is going to be part of the attacking options. And that's how you get Odegaard in there. And I'm not against that, but that's where I'm going. In relation to a prediction, you know what? I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal, but I would love 4. I'm going to say 2-0 Arsenal. Humble 2-0, man. I'm going to say Aubameyang and Saka, man. Smith Rowe assist. Then we're all eating in that regards. We're all eating. So it is what it is where that's concerned, people. Again, keep your comments, engagement and whatnot coming. Not just about Arsenal, Watford, you know, all your opinions on anything. You lot make this platform for where it is, man. So yeah, don't feel no way about commenting, folks, man. I can see Martin Odegaard coming in for sure. And for those that are wondering why I feel that, I just feel Lacazette tanked out in the second half. I just feel Lacazette. I don't think Arteta wants to. Don't think Arteta is really fixated on formations at times, but I don't think he wants to go with Aubameyang and Lacazette. I think what really pushed it is Lacazette's clearly been training well, doing his thing in the opportunities he gets. And you know, what was the game? I can't even remember now. But I can't even remember now. But yeah, whatever game it was, Aubameyang's pressing by himself. That tipped the balance for Lacazette to go with, obviously coming off the bench. I feel Lacazette looked a bit tired in the second half, and I don't think Odegaard's form is even warranting starting, saying that he might play a madness. But I think Smith Rowe, as I said, Smith Rowe will move out there. Odegaard will come into the team like that. Why does it look like Tierney's form has dropped quite a lot when the team starts performing well? Is that anything to read into? Just bad form, innit? I think he's upgraded it, but it's just bad form. In a way, it's not that I like it, but I like it is because if we're real with ourselves, you know, since we've turned this game around, I know we've had really standout performances against Villa, Spurs, and Leicester, but no one's really nailed down spots historically. You know, Saka hasn't been amazing. You know, Smith Rowe, last couple games really is playing amazing. Tierney's dropped off. But one thing I like is sometimes, too often than not, our form or winning, losing is correlated to these young players if they play well or good, which is not well in itself. And obviously the Tierneys and whatnot. So, that's one thing. I would say he's just got. I don't think he's dropped off quite a lot. I just think he's not just playing with the same swagger. I think he's playing like 6 out of 10. I think he can go up levels. There might be fatigue. There might be injuries. You know, it happened to Saka. It happened to Aubameyang. Happened to Smith Rowe. When you're performing so well for this club and it borders on astonishing, the same logic in life. Maybe it's just the flip side of that is the bad form's going to come. But it's still Tierney FC, still the best in the league. You know, I think he's recovered in the last couple of games. I don't know what it is, but it's like no one wants to give him an assist. But it must just be one of them things. It's like, even if I'm real with you, Tomiyasu, you know, he's been amazing, real purple patch when he came in, but he ain't been amazing that you're undroppable. There's not too many undroppables in that Arsenal team. You know, we got to move away from playing well to being undroppable. I think the way Lacazette was moving off the bench, you could have said him as an undroppable, but I do think he's going to unfortunately start on the bench and Odegaard will start against Watford. I think Gabriel is an undroppable. Ramsdale is an undroppable. You know, Tomiyasu by default. I think Smith Rowe for me, based on the last couple of games, because him and Odegaard were moving a bit shaky, the Brighton sort of thing. Smith Rowe's doing his thing. Odegaard will have his time. So I think to a lesser degree of Ramsdale and Gabriel, but undroppable. I think the other guys are Tavares, Ben White, Tomiyasu. You know, I think people being harsh on Pepe, Aubameyang. Even Aubameyang's an undroppable as well, but I would keep him in the bracket of man are playing well. So I like it because, again, it's a squad game. I think Arsenal's performances have been too correlated with our guys, you know, so the three or four half decent players playing well. So Tierney needs to fix up. Maybe there's a bit of a Euros hangover. He did have a couple of injuries. You know, can I really be surprised? As you know, Saka started slow. We rushed him back. He's had a couple knocks. He's obviously had the big Euros. Do you get it? So it's one of them ones. For me, I'm starting Tierney every day of the week in that game. Again, no secret, I'm extremely biased to the Flying Scotsman. But yeah, man, Tavares deserves it. But for me, I'd say even if Tavares has an amazing performance, if Tierney's fit, he starts against Liverpool for me, looking ahead after the international break. Saying that, you lot are going to come to this if Tierney has a bad game and say, oh, what's going on? You know, we might even have to go to a back three. I just would prefer Tierney against Salah. Salah's made him dance enough times. Maybe Tavares and Salah. You know, we might have to just do three at the back, get Tavares there, get Tierney there, somehow get Kolasinac in there, just have three man on him. And half the time you see Salah, he's just breezing past people anyway. So it is what it is. Personally, I'm loving the competition for places. I feel fans are a bit weird because they say things like we like competition, and then when we're signing Odegaard, oh, what's gonna happen to Smith Rowe? We can't sign a winger because there's Saka. What's gonna happen to this centre back if you sign a centre back? What happens to this left back, bro? There's a fine line between balance and imbalance in the squad, but players, you know, if you want to be an untouchable, make yourself an untouchable. You look, we're not Manchester City, yeah, but you look at City. Everyone's a good player. Even if we're honest, Kevin De Bruyne should be dropped. There's been times players have made themselves undroppable. You've seen Sterling perform very well, Gundogan, John Stones, you know, even Phil Foden. There's been times where Mahrez, where they're not playing Bernardo, but they make themselves untouchables. We're all good players, but I'm the first name on the team sheet. Everyone does that. It's too easy to kind of mess up to kind of pick our team, and I want to see that change a bit. And that's one thing I have liked. People have stood rather than cower away like in previous seasons. Individuals have stood up to be counted, potentially even taking opportunity. Maybe, you know, if I'm a left back, I'd love if Tavares has gone, well, you know, Tini's form's a bit iffy. Arteta, am I going to get a chance? You see, when Arteta gives me a chance, bro, man's keeping it. I want to see that. And that's what's happening at this moment. But the same thing is fans' narratives change. If Tavares gets torn a new one, which probably will happen against Liverpool, the thingy's changed. There's a couple concerning elements in Tavares' game. And I think a lot of people overcompensate because of what he gives you going forward. But he deserves his spot in it. He deserves his spot, and he's taking his chances, really. And I actually like the fact that he overcompensates. I like the fact that he's a bit of a madman. Like, you can tell tactically he might be a bit crazy, but yeah, man, I like that because it gives us something different, if I'm completely honest with you. And, you know, even I don't know if I'd advocate for him flying forward against Liverpool because you got not only Salah, but Trent Alexander-Arnold. But again, if he's flying forward and we're evenly matched against Liverpool, then Trent's gonna have some defending. And you look at Trent. Trent can defend. I don't know why people say he can't, but he lives a movie every Premier League and Champions League game. He don't have to do no defending. He's just basically playing like a centre mid. So can we be one of the rare teams that actually looks to test Liverpool defensively? We'll have to see when that game comes. People hit the like button. People, some engaging questions and whatnot. Let me see what's going on. We've been very protective of Saka. Hasn't performed much this calendar year. Harsh about calendar year, but I hear you. Don't like the idea of three at the back anymore. Will mash us up. Too defensive. I mean, to be honest with you, I hear you. but it's only defensive as you make it. You know, other teams can play 3 at the back. They'll go probably more forward than they do with a 4. As long as as long as the philosophy is the same, it doesn't really matter about the system. And we need to be able to do different things. It's Arsenal were very protective. Not right now, 4-4-2 is the thing. We've seen 4-2-3-1 be the thing. We've seen other formations. We need to keep stability, keep the same role, in my opinion, but know when to change things. And you could say, what's the point? We're not a great defensive side, regardless of the statistics. So what's the point doubling down against Liverpool? I would prefer to go with a back 4, but it would, especially because what it could give us down the left hand side and Tomiyasu and things. I think it's that's where I'm at with that. Let me scroll all the way up because I see a lot of interesting comments. This defense is probably our best in the last 5 years, so I'm confident. In the past, we make silly mistakes against these kind of teams, but this defense brings me confidence. It does, but we still do have mistakes. Even Ramsdale, he's got away with it against Spurs. Might be cherry picking, but we've got away with it. Tomiyasu is a good player, but he's had a couple shaky games. Ben White, Gabriel will show that. Diomande will show that they're 23. Tavares will show that he's a young man. So I wouldn't say we've got rid of the mistakes, but I would say the frequency in which we make these mistakes, 100%. Surprisingly, Arteta is second with 53 wins, Graham with 56, Wenger with 51 in their first games. Arteta can make it 54 on Sunday. Context is key, though. We'd have to look at that. That's mad. We're a good team for Watford to play. It won't be a breeze. An early goal is key. Look at the fixtures before we play Villa and could not see any truly easy games. I know he hasn't been great, but I really think Pepe would be good against Watford and versus Liverpool, but probably not ideal for Newcastle. And this is where it's down for Arteta to know his squad, innit? Know when to play certain players, when not to play certain players. Hit the like button, people, because there's 155 of you locked in. There's still only 85 likes. Unexpected high bills due for those who do not support the thing. One love to everybody who's hit the like button. Hope you win the lottery and all of that. Tierney doesn't get started for me. Maybe come from the bench 60th minute if we're winning. I hear that. I think we over-relied on Tierney. Our left-back was our creative source at one point. We're better off just asking him to do his job, which is true. But we have to even go back to remember when Kolasinac was held in slightly higher regard and he was a slightly more of an established first-team player? We was just relying on him to make something happen, man. Laka must start the game. He's playing good, and if you leave him out, he will struggle. I mean, players will have to be left out at some point. Partey also has finally been a consistent. That one took forever to get rolling. Tierney plays bad. Everyone is barking. Saka is not grinding like he should. No one bats an eye. I hear that. I don't advocate attack this guy because this guy is not getting attacked enough. We were way too dependent on Tierney for a long time. Not surprised that he's dropped off. Robert, I hear that. Interesting comments. Tavares keeps his spot though. I've already had that. Bad hips and hamstrings are two of the worst injuries footballers have to face, and I think Tierney has faced both. Fully back the guy. He'll be back to normal, man. I want a man with recovery pace against Salah because I feel like whoever we play is going to get twisted. I hear you on that, but, is it really, when you're out of position and you're halfway up the field, how many times is your pace going to save you against someone like Salah? Tierney has been unfairly judged, in my opinion. He hasn't been a 2 or a 3 in any game this season. He hasn't been wrecked by any wing. I don't think he's been wrecked. It's just we need to see a bit more from Tierney because he set himself high standards. Well, we'll need to remember for a 2-year period, our top assist came from left back / left wing back between Kieran, Tierney and Saka, but that was because Oba was left wing on Golden Boot form. Always the same Neeks, couple Neeks disliking the thing. These guys got notifications on to do that. Props from Croydon getting slandered. Love from Dorston. Love to the Hackney guys. People up the likes. Appreciate that, man. Tavares and Ainsley Maitland-Niles as wingbacks. What, against Watford or Liverpool? Hope you're blessed, DG. Like the vid, or Rob Holding and Marie start as centre-backs versus Watford. Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford picked up points against Liverpool by playing defensive. To be fair, Chelsea went down to 10 men. Sorry. I hear what you're saying about Brighton, but I think there's a bit of discredit there, and to Brentford, really, because, I think you've got to differentiate respecting what Liverpool have. You have to defend against them, but I don't think they sat back. I think Brentford defo didn't sit back. I think Brighton gave as good as they got. Chelsea went down to 10 men, and fair play, it was a professional job. I kind of like the Tavares versus Salah matchup. I don't see him winning the 1v1s, but he's so physical, he'll take a lot of energy from Salah. Right? This is why I think you should go with a back three. Tierney do the marking, Tavares do the marking. You know, one step off. I let Tavares be the physical threat. Tierney read the game, try and mop up. Hopefully, Gabriel overcompensates. You know, you could go, you know what, you're probably better off Gabriel in the middle. If we did a back three against Liverpool, I'll probably go Gabriel in the middle, Tierney on the left, Ben White there, Tomiyasu plays off as a wing back. But then again, you could probably swap the both of them really and then overcompensate. You've got to respect Salah. You can't 1v1 defend against Salah. You can, but you're not going to win too many of them. So 2 against 1. And also, when Salah's ability to draw players to him leaves gaps for other people. You look at the goal, 2 of the goals Atletico conceded against Liverpool in the recent game. Nobody clocks the run of Mane or Jota until it's too late. This is what we want, though. Headaches in deciding who gets the spot instead of dead ballers or shoehorning players in. True. Many people don't see it like that. I mean, I'm not saying we should do a back three against Liverpool. I'm saying it's something to consider. Listen, there's going to be times you have to do different things, in my opinion. Ever since I started hitting the like button, my shower head pressure improved, tax refund came, beard started growing, and DM started popping people. Again, hit the like button and change your life, man. It's one of them ones. I respect it. 95 likes. Appreciative to everyone who's hit that like button. So, yeah, that's where we're at with, you know, everything else we spoke about. Again, I've still got that in my timestamp as Tavares / Tierney and whatnot. Crazy. Play the same team. We are in form and are building confidence. I think we're gonna change stuff. I think we'll just keep the same team against Watford. I think it's might be a bit naive to not change a damn thing against Liverpool. We're not that team where we can just say this is the 11. We have to adapt a tiny bit to the opposition. And on one hand, I think you should do a back three. On the other hand, I think a 4-4-2 would probably be a culture shock for Liverpool because they don't expect us to play it. And how would they react? You know, I think the best Arsenal look the best when we're not just constantly standing still. When Aubameyang's on the last shoulder, when Lacazette's got some freedom, when Smith Rowe's here, there, and everywhere, where Saka's popping off the right. You know, when Tomiyasu's tucking in and whoever's on the left is doing their thing. Tavares has been a madman in that regards, quite rightly so, in the last things. That's when it's all right. When Aubameyang's up there by himself, but at the same hand, at times this can unbalance the team. And I can't lie, I'm happy I'm not Mikel Arteta needing to decide this, if I'm honest with you. But the glorious thing is that we can deal with Liverpool in a couple of weeks. So it's a myth. Away from that, though, Matteo Guendouzi has been linked with Newcastle people. Whether it happens is another thing. Please let me know your opinions. Make sure you're voting in the poll as well as commenting and subscribing. Where is all this Matteo Guendouzi stuff, people? Now they again seems like they're just going out. Next thing you know, they're gonna get Raul Sanllehi, if I'm honest with you, or they're gonna be linked with Saliba again, not just alone permanently. They've tried to get Emre, tried to get Guendouzi. Why don't you buy Kolasinac? That would be good. But apparently, Newcastle owners, I move for Arsenal outcast Guendouzi as they prepare to confirm Eddie Howe appointment. Now that's tricky because Marseille do have an option to buy in people unless they get relegated. There's an option, so it's an obligation. So he's gone. They might, considering it's only 9 million, they might say, you know what, Newcastle got bread. Let's go and make some money. And Guendouzi might want to come to the Prem. Personally, I think he's going to stay at Marseille for a couple of years. You know, he's been called up to France. He's getting plaudits in his homeland. Still getting the same old said about him, you know, and I think he's shown it. You know, even in the game, I'm at the 70th minute point against Clermont. He got a yellow card for chatting too much, and you can see the opposition fans are onto him. That's one of his biggest strengths. He's one of those players you're going to hate if he doesn't play for you lot. But he's got a lot of energy, man. You even look in the Lazio game. He's played it. He got an assist in the Clermont game, and he played a big role into a couple of the goals. Well, he played a role in both the goals Lazio conceded against Marseille. The one thing I like about Guendouzi is he's energetic. I do think there's no balance because he's more of a cultured continental midfielder. He's not going to necessarily get mad goals and assists. He's more of an artist. I don't think there's a balance. People say they can't see the hype. Certain people say he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's somewhere in the middle. He's at that stage now where there's ability for me, anyways. For every example of him showing bad attitude or needing to mature, he shows fantastic leadership qualities. It's like an adolescent teen, an 18-year-old, not knowing where they're going in life, and they show the good, bad, and the smooth. For me, it's the catch-22. What makes him, on top of the technical ability which he's got, what makes it his biggest gift and his biggest curse is how he carries on. You know, it's a bit like Wenger. His biggest gift and curse was that he trusts people too much. You get it? So it's one of them ones. And for me, I think Guendouzi could have been part of the squad, could ties into what we're doing, resale value and that. But it's not about a footballing ability. It's, you know, Arteta just had enough of you, and it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And, you know, I know Arteta's played coy, but it don't look like this guy's going to have a future. Anyways, Newcastle's new owners have identified Arsenal outcast Matteo Guendouzi as a potential transfer target and are close to appointing Eddie Howe as their new manager. As you know, Guendouzi made 82 appearances for us, went on 2 loan spells back in his homeland at France, and was over there in Germany. Apparently, they've expressed an interest in signing the Arsenal loanee ahead of the next summer window, which, again, as I said, I think he's conservative. I'd say 20 million. I think he's a 30 million pound player already. He's been called up to the French team. Whether he goes to the World Cup is another thing. But the one thing's for sure is that, you know, the 9 million we agreed him to leave is pennies, really and truly. We probably didn't have to commit to that. He would have returned to Arsenal with a year left, and probably, you know, being in the French team might have had a hell of offers. I'm not saying he has to be part of Arsenal's first team, but what Arsenal need to do now is how we sell players better if we're going to be self-financing people. So it said they're linked with him. You know, Arteta last month said for now he's gone for a season, and I think he's having a really good spell with Marseille. It's part of the plan that we made with him. He's continued with his development. We'll make a decision at the end of the year. I do not think you can say that he has played his last game for Arsenal about a player that's still here. And he's Arteta, we can take that at face value, but he's never going to say anything different about someone mid-season, again, where it could affect what you do or don't do with his future. Again, we all know his days are numbered. Let me know your opinions. That's that with Matteo, man. You know, lost Benatia, lost Guendouzi. You don't need to bring me another French cultured midfielder. I need it, really. So that's that. What else are you lot saying, man? Can't see Guendouzi leaving Marseille. It's the match made in heaven, man. Not that it matters, but are Guendouzi and Saliba tight off the pitch? I'd imagine so, but I don't have a clue, man. The prospect of building Guendouzi is greater than selling him to an average club. Guendo is very similar to Renato. You know, he's going to be a terrific baller, and I think Arsenal are going to look back and say what happened. But, you know, the world can keep spinning if you sign other midfielders. Like, I don't quite think it's that, if I'm real with you. Yeah, as good as Liverpool are, you saw from Brighton, you need to take a bit of fight to it. And that's the thing. That's the Premier League. If you try and move to it, man, and move to a team, they're culture shocks, you know. Liverpool got a culture shock against Brentford. Chelsea got a culture shock against Brentford. The glory of the Premier League is that the goalposts are moving closer and closer. We all saw what was going on with Bielsa at Ellen Road last season. You know, I don't think we're beating Liverpool at all. But the thing is, Arsenal fans lack balance. We have fans that we will lose. We'll lose 4-0, but we might have lost 5-0 a year before. And man will say, cool, at least we didn't lose 5-0, you know, versus, okay, cool. Okay, yeah, there is a bit of face to save, but apply yourself. For me, I just want to play a team like Liverpool. And then if they win, well, Mo Salah's done a madness. What can you say? We lost. We try and fix what we did, but Mo Salah's the best player in the world probably right now. He's twisted up your defense. What could you say? You can't, well, he's a terrific player. You can't account for that. It's the things that annoy me. Is the typical things is that, yes, Salah, all these guys might score great goals or do great things and take nothing away from them, but you look at what we're doing. We might have given the ball away, we might have switched off, we might have not followed the runner, we might have had a stronger 80 minutes than the first 10, or we're not doing nothing for 80 minutes and then the last 10 were somewhat on it, and we do this what ifs business. It's one of them ones. Bro, it's a long day, but this is why they're there, man. You can't always get gassed off beating teams that are in bad form. You got to put a shift in. Xhaka can get back into the team. Partey/Lokonga is more dynamic. Can't get back into the team. You say that, and I don't disagree with you, but, you know, against Brighton, fans were not saying that. Against Palace, fans were not saying that. Fans were saying Xhaka shouldn't go back into the team for Spurs, but look what happened. I'm no way a Xhaka apologist. Listen, I'm definitely not defending Xhaka, but it's funny how narratives change, you know. 4-2-3-1 was the thing this season. 4-4-2's been it. 4-3-3 might be it. It's always, everything works until we lose, you know. And again, it's a squad game. I don't necessarily think Xhaka is a bad player. I definitely necessarily do not think he's a good player. I think the Xhaka sexuals do a lot, but I don't think he's as bad as people make out. And at least until things happen in the summer, bro, this is the squad. We're going to need everyone at some point. And again, you know, I think we needed a midfielder, minimum 2 midfielders in general at the start of the summer. But suddenly you're betting on a lot with Partey's injury. And the more Partey stays fit, the more you're worried. He's got the overload to come of AFCON. He's going to be absent during January because he's at AFCON to go with El Nene, who should be moved on. Xhaka, again, is still nursing his way back from injury. You're hoping nothing happens with Lokonga, Maitland-Niles and all these guys. In fact, Ainsley might say, you know, I need to leave in Jan as well, even though he's been getting minimal football. So I wouldn't rule out anything really and truly. But I do think the 2 sixes in Lokonga and Partey needs to learn how to work together, and it could be something because we're going to need that in our Arsenal. But I do think we need a couple more expansive midfielders. It's like if we look at Partey, Lokonga's somewhat the younger protege from him. You know, Partey's the guy that's here for the present. Lokonga's going to take over that. I don't see he takes over Xhaka's thing. You know, I've seen Martin Odegaard play midfield on occasion. It's been hit and miss. It looked great against Burnley. Who was it before that? It might have been Brighton as well, where it looked out of its depth. Where no, it weren't Brighton because that was Lokonga and Partey. But whoever it was, where it looked like Odegaard was trying to be a 10 and an 8 on the pitch. It was a bit of a myth. But we need different midfield options. Need some midfielders, man. And it's a shame what's happened with Guendouzi. It's a shame what's happened with Torreira. Or, you know, these guys would be half decent options for the squad, especially as we get into these winter months. And as we said, we're playing a dangerous, dangerous game with the fitness. Crazy, man. You never know what can happen. There's literally no pressure on us to win. So we just have to show character and take it to man. Hopefully. Don't spam, though. I feel like the game against Watford will be 1-1. Hope not. I think Guendouzi's already worth 20-30 million already, to be fair with you. Tell Newcastle we'll bust them like 5 or 6 players for 100 M's, maybe even Dash Martinelli on loan there. You're living the movie, but I love it. Oh, man. Pardon me. Don't like Odegaard playing as an 8. I think we need one in Jan. I don't mind him playing there, but it's only going to bang against teams that are not going to offer much. They're going to sit back. Like, you could probably run Odegaard in the 8, against Watford and get away with it. But, you know, teams that are trying to move to us and trying to ask us stuff, it's not going to be the thing, really. And, you know, I think Smith Rowe can play there in the future. I think right now I'd stay clear from that. I think we need someone who is a centre mid. That's your job title, personally. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already, people. Very appreciative of everyone locked in. 110 likes. One love for that. Can we keep running it up, though, folks? Keep running up them numbers. Should we look at what Mikel Arteta has had to say in his press conference, folks? In fact, just before that, I saw some comments between Tomiyasu, I think Lokonga, comments. So I think we should just cover that. Let me find it. Where is them Lokonga comments? That's Mikel Arteta's press conference, which we're going to get into. As you know, Mikel Arteta will take charge of his 100th Arsenal game on Sunday against Watford. He'll become the 15th manager to reach this milestone with the club, while only George Graham, with 56 wins, secured more wins in his first 100 games as Arsenal manager. As you lot know, Arteta has played 99 and has 53 wins. As Raz said, he could be at 54. Will you be reviewing the new Wenger film, DG? Of course. When is it out, though? Of course. Me, an excuse for Wenger propaganda? Come on, 100%, 100. You know this. But yeah, away from that though, folks, and hopefully Google Translate helps me out because again, I don't know about any of this. But Lokonga has had something to say, and Lokonga is an interesting one because for me, he's spoken about wanting to be a number 8. I don't think he has a snowball's chance of being a number 8. I think you are a 6, personally. But he's spoken, people, and he's given an interview. Again, Google Translate might not make no sense. Again, if it doesn't, it's not my fault. I can't speak Belgian, but quietly placed in his London apartment, Sambi Lokonga received us virtually this Thursday afternoon to discuss his departure from Anderlecht, his start to the season at Arsenal, and the Red Devils, obviously Belgium. His laughter is still communicated 4 months after having definitely emptied his locker in Norpeed. Again, let me scroll through all of these people. Again, Sambi, you experienced a change of the universe this summer when you left Anderlecht, your training club, for Arsenal in the Premier League. He went on to say, it's clear I left Anderlecht, the house where I lived, almost everything for 10 years. Landing at Arsenal was a novelty for me. Who'd had only known Valvez and Anderlecht? A transfer that was a bit late and dragged on in the home stretch. Did you have moments of doubt when you saw that the traffic light did not turn green? Not really. I knew Anderlecht wanted to make the most money. It was pretty normal. It also took a long time due to COVID. I was glad that everything was official and ended. Even when I arrived in England, I still had to respect the quarantine, which, again, you remember, it was a dragged out process. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people. It helps with engagement. You're commenting in the live chat, and you're also commenting in the comment section of the actual vid. He went on to say, we hope that you would stay one more season with, I assume, Anderlecht, but it was no longer anchored in your mind. He said, I felt it was the right moment to discover a new environment after 10 years in Anderlecht. I needed change to keep progressing. And then the fact that certain elements leave the club, like Lucas Nemecha, played a role. If I had been guaranteed that we would keep the same framework as at the start of last season, maybe I could have stayed an extra year. Anderlecht gave me a lot. I am very attracted to the club. It runs in my blood. But there, I said to myself that we still take time before new players understand the coach system. So I said to myself, it was time to look elsewhere. So he wanted to make the jump up. Your choice fell on Arsenal after a good discussion with Mikel Arteta, the coach of the Gunners, and Edu, the sporting director. The discussions made things easier and reassured me. I was almost a little bit surprised that they knew me so well. Even now, with the data, all the club have a lot of data on each player. During the discussion, the coach made it clear to me that he was counting on me. He told me that I would have playing time, which was important to me, and that was up to me to perform on the field to have as much as possible, which is fair enough. You get your chances taken, and I think you have seen a bit of up and down with Lokonga. I think there's still a lot he needs to work on. I actually think in an ideal world, Lokonga would see a lot more of the bench, but we need him to hit the ground running. He's going to have to learn on the job, really and truly. It is what it is. He's a chef that, in midfield, it's a chef that doesn't know how to use a certain knife. So rather than be shown, he's just going to have to cut his hand a couple of times, really. And for me, it's off the ball a lot that Lokonga struggles with. He's quite blinkered. And I like that he's very quite composed, but sometimes it comes across as casual, and it's been seen. You've seen the scenes of Ramsdale barking at him. We all remember against Palace, him and Partey caught in the ball. Mistakes happen. Still a good player, though. Was that when you left that the difference was so big between football in Belgium and England? No, I understood it long before. That from the very first training session, from my first ball with my teammates even, I felt that the intensity was quite different than in Belgium. It remains the same football and the same principles with controls and passes, but everything has to be done faster, something that I think, again, that's kind of what I was alluding to, much faster, because the spaces are closing and the opponents are pressing you fast. So you have to act quickly when you have the ball. After a few months in England, I feel more and more comfortable, even though I'm not yet at my best. That's understandable. Don't expect you to be at your best. You're still in your early 20s. You've only been here for 2 seconds. You're still adapting. Few months and 7 starts in the league later, what is your assessment of your season? Positive. There are a few players from a league like Belgium who can say that they have won as quickly as me in a club like Arsenal. The difference is such between Belgium and England that it's not easy to come and win here. All this makes my assessment positive, even if there are things to improve. They're still waiting on his first goal and assist. He said this definitely one of the things I can improve on. On the other hand, the counter of yellow cards is well launched. There are 3 of you in the league. The element Sambi Lokonga had not accustomed us to this in Anderlecht. Again, Google Translate doing me tough. It is what it is, man. I don't mind you getting cards. It's an occupational hazard, especially for a number 6. He said it's true, but in England, it's another level and another championship. Here, sometimes you're forced to slow down or break the opponent's game. If you don't, on the counter-attack, there was a lot of chance that will end up in a goal. So sometimes you have to stop an opponent to help the team. I don't think we make enough tactical fouls. We have a lot of players who are nice on the pitch. As a defensive midfielder, I have to lead by example in my aggression, do the dirty work. If we're not mean on the pitch, who's going to be? And that's true, bro. Fuck all this nice guy thing. Apologies for my language. Does this Premier League, which almost all professional footballers want to integrate into their careers one day, meet your expectations? Before I came here, I had my doubts that the Premier League was the best league in the world. But now that I'm here, I'm convinced of it. Everything is bigger here. I was particularly amazed by the quality of the lawns, the grass, and then inevitably there is the quality of the opponents. It really is the best. You always have to go all out. In Belgium, when you play at the bottom of the ranking, you can afford to be at 80%. In England, it's impossible. If you're not at 100%, it's better to not step on the lawn. So that's true. This was seen during the first 3 days when you did not take a single point. He said it was a difficult time for the players. We were very criticised after these 3 matches. We had to be strong in the head and continue to believe in ourselves, but we must not forget who our opponents were at the start of the championship. Of course, in Brentford, I can admit it was a game we had to win, but then we played against Chelsea and against Man City. After these 3 matches, we were aware that we had to bring back points and win matches. We managed to do it, and we must continue our momentum with the arrival of Watford on Sunday. A team that is looking for a bit at the start of the season, young players and a coach with little experience. It makes one think furiously at Sporting Anderlecht. It's true, we have a lot of players in the squad who come from Arsenal Academy. I really like Smith Rowe and Saka, who stand out a bit. And then there's a young coach who's trying to implement his philosophy. Finally, passing from Company to Arteta, you went from one to another in it. The transition has helped me. It was a good thing for me. In their coaching, they look very similar. In the way you watch and analyze a game, there are some similarities between them. They are quite close, although there are still a few differences. Arteta is more involved in training and some exercise with us, what Company did at the beginning, but not at the end. So it seems like Company delegates. Company said to him, I just realized his most important contribution without telling me. He prepared me for the Premier League. Sometimes in Anderlecht, he would call me into his office. He was showing me play sequences, telling me I had to be more aggressive or that I had to do this or that. He also told me that on a long ball, I also had to sprint to be present in the area where the ball was going to fall. If you don't do it in England, you are dead. Without me knowing it, it really prepared me for the English Championship. I wouldn't have adapted so quickly to England without him. Obviously, he spoke about potentially being called up to Belgium. He said, he ain't spoken of it now, and he obviously spoke about his disappointment of not being called up for the Nations League. He said, in all seriousness, I expected not to be called out for the Final Four. It was a smaller group than the last few times, and I know the coach is not the type to make a lot of changes from one selection to another. This did not prevent me from following the 2 meetings. I was particularly sad for Alexis Salamancas because he was very close to scoring a goal, but his shot hit the bar. He spoke about Belgium. It's not relevant to us people, so I'm going to air all of that. Where is Tomiyasu's people? Tomiyasu, 1 minute Emerson Royal says he rejects his Arsenal. Tomiyasu has said, I thought I was going to Spurs. Tomiyasu admits he nearly joined Arsenal's arch rivals on deadline day, and we would have had to call you overrated. And he signed for 16 million quid, 22 million euros. What a deal for the 22-year-old on this 4-year deal. And you'd imagine he signs an extension or an improved term not before long. I thought I wasn't able to join Arsenal. I thought I was going to Spurs on deadline day. The move broke down. Tottenham asked me to join them. Arsenal asked me to join them. Apologies, definitely not. And I did immediately. And we know what we liked about Tomiyasu. We know he's a nice guy and whatnot. Sorry, what's all of this? Is that it from Tomiyasu? I would have thought there would have been more reading, but yeah, that's that from Tomiyasu people. So that's Lokonga and Tomiyasu, what they've had to say in the press. I like to see the comments of foreign players or just new players coming to the team and things like that. It always throws up some interesting perspectives personally. So that's that. Shouldn't Mertesacker get credit for youth development? Yeah, he should, like everybody at the club. Not gonna lie, DG, you sound a bit harsh on Lokonga considering his age and profile of the signing. I've been impressed by him, but I guess I'm asking what your expectations of him are. I think this is where people are misunderstanding me because if I think this is where people are getting a bit of rose tints when they're listening. Very impressed with Lokonga. Love what I see from him. I think there's a lot of quality. If you go back, I said that he's the signing I'm most excited about. Now, obviously, a couple people have taken the limelight. I don't think I'm being harsh. I'm simply saying there's a lot more to come from Lokonga, and I think there's a lot for him to develop. Again, not that I know ball, but just before I read out what he said about, knowing where the ball is and I can be quicker, he said it. As a midfielder, it's all about anticipation. He's shown his qualities, but there's been times he's blinkered. As a midfielder, if you're looking left, if you don't know what's on your left and your right, you're in problems. Off the ball, it's all about what you do off the ball, whether you're an attacking guy or defensive. He can improve. Needs a lot of time on the ball. All I'm saying is that I think in an ideal world, I would prefer for him to see, be a bit more of a rotation option, but he hasn't got that. He's having to learn fast, and I back him. I like his mentality. I don't think I'm being harsh at all. I think he's a good player. These are the things to improve. These are the things I expect a 21-year-old to have. These are the things I'm literally seeing. I don't want to sit here and lie to you, I'm not going to tell you things that I don't think are true. These are things I expect. It's like with Saliba, you know, Saliba, everybody will waffle about the Kylian Mbappe tackle. No one's going to talk about the shakiness against Lazio, or, you know, the shaky moment in, I can't even remember the team, where he's passed it backwards and his teammates had to concede a foul because of him. Or when Saliba's actually lost the ball, or when Saliba's gone to sleep at corners. Or again, against Lazio, he's had 2 missed kicks, one from the corner, the next one from the thingy. The next one from how did they even score? Immobile. You know, he's been given a simple pass. He's nonchalantly swung at it with his left foot. These are things I expect a 20-year-old to do. You know, not to that standard, of course. Lazio was a bit Saliba, what's going on there? But I expect you to do these things. So there you go. I'm commenting on these things. You know, I would like in an ideal world, you know, you have a couple of other midfielders and Lokonga gets his opportunities, his start here, his start there. But like I said, he's going to have to learn on the job. But I wouldn't say harsh because I'm not criticizing him. I just think there's a lot more to come. Fair play, though. What else have we got? We should offer Kessié a pre-contract and move for Hour in January. I would love that. Big up the DG Nation. Shout out the members that are out here in their things. Members, I'm seeing Alexander, I'm seeing AM, I'm seeing hella guys. But you know, when I ask you lot for your Q&A questions, you lot don't speak. Again, I can't do the Q&A this week because there's not enough questions, really. Shout out to the 4 people who asked it, people. So members, check out the community tab. It's not by force. But yeah, when there's enough questions, we'll do that, man. But it's not been that right now, has it? Like, let me see if someone's added it. Where is it? Yeah, 4 questions. Shout out to Kay, shout out to Paul, shout out to Cam, shout out to Matt. They listened, didn't it? Big up you lot. Please make sure we're hitting the like button, folks, if we haven't already. Very appreciative of such. Critical analysis is not hate, just analysis in both good and bad. And that's the thing. When I'm waffling about these lots of abilities, no one says nothing. Like, but when it's something else, oh, DG, what's up? What's up? You being harsh? Football's harsh, man. Arsenal, we've experienced harshness, man. I like Suleiman, and it's nice to see that, man. The club should try and build bridges with Wenger. He's clearly harboring some resentment. Give him a statue and ceremony. Let him leave again on good terms. Let's just move on from Wenger. He's a great man. He's done stuff, but let's just keep it moving, man. Always listening to the real talk, bro. Cam, I appreciate that. I think we should be going for Osimhen. I would love it to, but again, he's going to cost a pretty penny. I'd love to see Pragueta. He has goals and assists to his game. He does, but yeah, man. I'd rather just go for the Guimaraes and these sort of guys, if I'm completely honest with you. Should we look at what Mikel Arteta has had to say in his press conference, folks? It's only right. It's only right. Made 2 mistakes versus Lazio. I'll clip that. That could be a good video on its own, documenting Saliba's progress because we touched on him. Prediction for Arsenal Watford 2-0 Arsenal. So yeah, let's look at what he said in the press conference. So that's 02:38. Mikel Arteta press conference time, folks. Mikel Arteta press conference time. Where is the tab? There we go. Pardon me. Bunch of Pragueta and Anthony for Arsenal summer 22-23. Oh, bringing the Brazilian samba back. Why not? But myth, man. Myth. Yeah, let's see what Arteta said. Arteta obviously had another Zoom call. That's a lovely Gillette jacket from Arteta, isn't it? On what he wants from his squad. What I am demanding is that we keep improving and get good performances that will lead to good results, and that we maintain the same unity and togetherness around the squad, and we are able to transmit that in games and every day in training. If we do that, we'll keep getting better. Can't disagree with that. Facts. That's everything I try and articulate. You know, that must be a record for Arteta. First paragraph, he said his own incident. He said his good old transmit. I love it. On our good record against Watford, forget it. We ain't got no record against Watford for that 90 minutes. If I'm Watford, I want to put that right. If I'm Arsenal, we need to act like we've never beaten Watford. If we keep going into every game like we have something to prove and behaving like we haven't achieved a damn thing, and we keep grinding, you know, some of you have played for your countries. If you lot keep grinding like someone who's never made their first team debut, you will lose games, you will drop points, but you might end up somewhere half decent. Every game is different. They have a new manager, a team that needs wins, as we do. And in this league, any team can cause you problems, can beat you, and you always have to be aware of that. That's facts. facts and more facts. Obviously, slightly away from that, people, please make sure you're setting your reminders and you're hitting the like button for Sunday's Watch Along live from 1 p.m. and that shameless plug. If I don't promote, who will? So yeah, good record against Watford. It does give us some hope, but in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. On Watford's form this season, they had an incredible run last year to do what they did, and now they have changed manager. It's always difficult in this league for any team. So imagine coming from the Championship is even harder, as we knew when Brentford moved to us. But it is a team that has been for many years in the league. They are neighbours next to us and they are tough to beat, which is true. And we should know a little bit and pieces about them, because didn't we play them in a behind closed door friendly? Now, I know the team was a bit different, but you get the point. On Granit Xhaka and Tierney's fitness, Tierney has been training the last 2 days. He's feeling much better, so hopefully he'll be available. That screams to me that a man's going to be on the bench. On if Tierney will play for Scotland next week, and I don't know what that will mean, because if you look at here, people, Steve Clarke is hopeful Tierney can make a return against Watford. So I'd imagine Steve Clarke and Arteta have had some sort of conversation. He said, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I want to see what Steve Clarke has actually said. Clarke has a more upbeat tone. Now, obviously, Clarke needs him for Scotland. Arteta needs him for Arsenal, but we're playing a game on Sunday. He might be being a bit smart with it, bit of little white lies, not trying to gauge it, because he did that in the last game against Leicester, played a bit coy on people's fitness. He said, I think Kieran will be on the plane, and if he's on the plane, he'll be fit. That's my opinion. But look, you have to respect the club, and the club are telling us he's working his way back to fitness. They're hopeful he could be involved this weekend against Watford. But if he only gets a few days training in, then fine. We don't play until a week on Friday, so he's got time on his side. I expect that Tierney will be fit. So my anticipation is that Tierney probably will be fit, probably fit enough to make the bench. But that's where you're at with Tierney. So yeah, we're assessing where Tierney's at. So we've got I'd imagine they're training today. I'd imagine there's some sort of training on Saturday, and then obviously the game on Sunday. So again, it'll go down to the wire. On Aaron Ramsdale and whether he should be England's number one. Yeah, bro, I tell you, don't sit on the fence, man. Fuck Southgate. Yeah, he should. You know, anyone should. If I'm Burnley and Pope, I'll be gassing Pope as well. Pickford had a good Euros, and he's not a bad keeper, but I don't know why man move like it's a prime Buffon or Casillas or these guys. That keeper spot is open season for everyone, you know. And Southgate's boying it. He always says you can't call people up in the Championship and that. You're calling up Sam Johnson and you're playing him ahead of Ramsdale. We get it. Ramsdale was behind these guys in the pecking order. But look what he's doing with the playing out from the back. Look how he's coped with joining a bigger club. Look how he's being one of the best players. Look how it's like Ramsdale's been here for years. Stop sitting on the fence, Arteta, man. Stick it on Southgate. He should be number one. But then again, that could obviously harm them. I'm really happy for him to see him back in the squad, and the rest is a decision that Gareth and the coaching team has to make. What Aaron has to do is keep performing at that level and be humble. Other decisions are done by someone else, which is true. On Ben White and Smith Rowe not being in the England team, probably naive to expect Smith Rowe to be there. We was hopeful. Genuinely bewildered how Ben White isn't there. You know, Connor Cody hasn't been bad, but hasn't been particularly good. I know Mings is left-footed and there's the left foot tax, and he has the, you know, he's been involved in the camp. But boy, if I'm Tomori, if I'm Ben White, I'm looking a bit sideways. I really expected Ben White to be in that England team, but it is what it is. Again, Gareth has to make so many difficult decisions. He has so many choices. What I like is that our players are performing at a level, and I'm sure they are giving problems in selection to Gareth and the coaching staff. And that is what pleases me, because I know they have the level to do it, and it will be about the time and when the manager decides at the right time to select them. That's true. And, you know, for a number of years, I can't lie, until Saka come on the scene, there was a period, no Arsenal players touching England. Holding used to chat about it, Eddie and Joe chat about it. It's a myth for you lot, you know. I remember Jenkinson and Chambers getting called up, but, you know, them man are one and done guys sort of thing. So, yeah, man, it's nice to have Ben White, Saka, Ramsdale brought in now, you know, all of these other things happening, Smith Rowe, all of these things going, man. Kieran can get his fitness in the 2 Scotland matches, maybe put him on the bench against Watford. He probably will. I think Tavares doesn't deserve to be dropped. Not going to lie to you. Part of me wants to start Tierney, you know, because big Tierney fan, but it is what it is, bro. There's no point. You can't get a call up, man. You can't get a call up, but it is what it is. I mean, for us, at least that means, Smith Rowe's going to be over there with England's under 21s, but at least that means what? Gabriel ain't been called into the Brazil team. Him and Vinicius, I thought they would, where Real Madrid's concerned, but that means Ben White and Gabriel, you're going to have them. Tomiyasu, I don't know what Japan are doing, but I'd imagine he's going with Japan. We just spoke about Tierney. You know, Ramsdale's going off with England, but at least you have 1-2 players. You know, you'd have Ben White. You don't have Partey, etc., but you'd have what? Ben White, Gabriel, Lokonga's there, you know. you'll have you'll have more players to work with in the week. So it is what it is, man. He's on 100 games in charge. Big ups, big up Arteta. Whatever you say, that's a fantastic achievement. An incredible and big journey. A lot has happened, not only at the football club, but around the world. That obviously has had an impact in everything that we have lived in the last 2 years. But I'm so privileged to be where I am, and I'm really enjoying the opportunity and the challenge we have ahead. Fair play. I'm going to be playing Football Manager, people, at 4 p.m. UK time, so adjust the clock. Make sure you're over there on Twitch. If you're not following me on Twitch, check out the pinned message. And also, I've just commented it, and I'm sure Nightbot is there. Lokonga got called up by Belgium. So again, Lokonga's not there, didn't he? I didn't even know that. Safe for telling me, yo, and I didn't even know that. So congratulations to Lokonga. That's the second time being in the squad, isn't it? Since he signed for Arsenal. So you ain't got Lokonga or Partey. You ain't gonna have Odegaard. Barely have anyone to train then, innit? So the point's irrelevant. But at least you have someone in it. On whether he feels things are coming together now, yes, but this is about momentum and trying to pick it up and setting those foundations that we want to give us performances and results, but also to build a sense of unity that is building around the club with our people, with our players, and the way we are playing and transmitting. And that, for me, this is just as important, which is true. There's no way around it. On Conte's arrival and whether Arsenal fans should be worried. First of all, I'd like to send a message to Nuno and his coaching staff, because it's always tough to see a colleague leave the job. Fair play. Man, I think that's the right way to talk. I know he's a Spurs man, but I just feel there's this unwritten rule and there's this etiquette really to whether a next manager is doing bad, you don't criticize them and draw them out and talk on their situation, at least not publicly. So touch a class there, as much as you can for the ex-spud. Let's said about Nuno really and truly, and he's gone on to praise Conte. I'm not going to read that out. Spoken about Eddie Howe taking over at Newcastle, and that's a game where we're going to play them soon, but it's right. Arteta's moving like me in Football Manager. Don't ask me about what next teams are doing. I don't know. We know there's a massive caliber of managers in the Premier League, and you look at David Moyes doing his thing. I'm not gonna bore you lot with this because it's not really relevant to what we're doing or what Arsenal's about, man. On whether it'll be harder to get top four now that Conte has arrived, I think it will be for any team to be fighting for those top positions. I mean, and it's going to get more competitive when Newcastle come up and all the other teams. Everton want to be doing what Leicester's doing. Leicester are there. We're going to get into a world where 10 teams can win the league or do whatever. And we're going to get into a world where every team in this league can win the league and get relegated. That's where we're going, this competitive nature. If we do our job, yeah, people can spend more than us, but we can have a fight. It's not about how good a manager is or how good a player is. It's about how good they're able to perform over a 38-game calendar. As much as I like looking at other teams and there's a golfing class, there's a lot of stuff we need to arrest. So he's right, man. On how Emil is feeling about not being in the England squad, I think he should be happy if people are gutted about him not being selected or people are questioning any selection, because that tells you the level that he's playing at. Like anything that has happened in Emil's career, it will come when it's the right moment, because we don't know if now is the right moment. Gareth knows much better than us to judge what he thinks about the role. That he could have in the team, and if he's decided it's not the right moment, I'm sure it was a very thought through process and the right decision. On how he's changed from his first game as a manager, I think we all update any year like any computer with everything that has happened to us. Even more so, I'm different. I see things different. You evolve in certain ways. You learn a lot of things. We keep evolving. It's raw. So play people in the right position, play the right players, build consistency with your defense, stop chopping and changing, stop relying on duds that are not worth your time. You're right. We do evolve. Stop trying to remix guys. Play the players that actually are playing well. It's crazy. On whether he could reach 1,000 games like David Moyes, he said, I'm nowhere near. I would like to have their recipe to see how they done it to stay in the game so long. I know David, the enjoyment and the passion that he still has for the game, because I worked with him, and you're probably more like him than any manager that you've worked with or under or played for. From what I see, to have experienced something doesn't mean that you've experienced all things that could happen in that journey, but for sure there have been some necessary things that have happened, some challenges and others beauty to go through. But as I said, I'm really enjoying the moment and the opportunity I have ahead of me. Yeah, I don't give a crap at flying monkeys about what's going on where Barcelona is. When asked if top four is a possibility, I don't know how difficult it's going to be. We have to aim to win every single match, and we have to have only that mentality to try to be better today, to be more prepared for the Watford game, and go there with the right mentality, ambition, and determination to win it and move on to the next one. But we have to go game by game. I tell you lot that all the time, but you lot want to start, you know, when we're losing, we're getting relegated. When we're winning, if we do this, I tell you lot, be careful of that if word. Be careful of that if word. Be careful. Until the things we've praised our team so far, going on this 9, by God's grace, against Watford, 10 unbeaten run. That's 10 games over 2 years under ARTETA, and however many years we've been doing the same nonsense, different players or not, the same mentalities and whatnot. Until it becomes the minimum, and because it's now the minimum, fans can border along to expectation. It is what it is. I'm not trying to be negative, but we know this Arsenal team on occasion can turn it on. We've been going on runs. You know, we've been isolated moments against Leicester, United, Chelsea, winning these games. But over a 38-game period, that doesn't lie. And has that always been as kind to us? We know, even with the FA Cup, we know we can turn up on the isolated incidences. So again, game by game, we're never as good as we think we are when we've won. We're definitely not as bad as we think we are when we've lost. Keep balance. Find some positives, find some negatives. And I think because of the way Arsenal are moving, there's never balance. Fans, 1 minute we're going to win Tour de France. We're going to take Lewis Hamilton's championship and win the Champions League even though we're not in it. Well, we're going to be playing in the Barnet Sunday League if we carry on with how we're going. We need balance. This is what we did good. This is what we did bad. We can work on this. We was moving a bit shaky in this aspect, but we got away with it. Only when we look at it with that can we get somewhere, in my opinion. Hit the like button if you haven't already, folks. 145 likes. Very appreciative of that so far. On Ramsdale's save against Leicester, it was sensational. But I liked most was the reaction from other teammates getting back and Thomas clearing the ball off the line. I mean, Arteta, you must be watching DG Tinker. That's the first thing I said to you. Look, I was like, listen, I rate it, but why is Partey not getting any praise for Thingy? Partey was getting no praise for mopping up. It's irrelevant. Ramsdale's save is irrelevant if Partey isn't switched on and helps out his teammate. Not that Ramsdale could do anything more. It's just we would have conceded and it doesn't matter anymore how good the save is because it ultimately went in. Because if Ramsdale makes the saves, but they end up putting the ball in the net, it wouldn't stand for anything. So it's not about the player, it's about the team, which is true. And that's things I like. There's been times Ramsdale, he was shaky against Spurs. At times, Xhaka, as good as he was, Xhaka got him out. Tomiyasu was shaky against Brighton. He got pulled through. There's been times Ben White has done the leading and other times he needed help. No one's going to be at it for 38 games unless you're Mo Salah in this league and them and there. I would say Kevin De Bruyne, but he's even looking human. Salah's the only one I look at and I was like, you don't look human. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop it, innit? Definitely against my team. Is what it is, people. So he's right on that, man. When asked if managers deserve more time to turn results around, boy, you better be careful how you're speaking, innit? Yes, I don't know to make a judgment on the decision on why decisions are made. If it depends only because of the result, or if it performs, or if it's something else. Performances, sorry, people, brain fart. It's very difficult. I've said many times that I'm grateful and privileged to work with people that I work with at the club, and that we have a clear idea on what we want to do. But again, like any manager, at the end you need results. Fair play. You know, big up Claudio Ranieri, still managing in the grand old age of 70. Big him up, but I'm not going to go over that. On Sambi stepping into the Xhaka role, it's not exactly the same role, is it? But I hear it. Sambi has shown a really quick adaptation. It's true, adaptation, a lot of intelligence in his game and courage. Fact. He's a player that is constantly trying to affect the game in the right areas. Fact. It was a big task to ask him to play the amount of minutes he has played already in the league in such a short time, but he's showing that he's capable of doing it, and he's handling the situation really, really impressively. And whether there's some benefit to players not being called up for international duty, I don't know. Yes, it is, fam. Yes, there is. Of course, if I was a manager, which I am a football manager, I want my players to get called up personally. I want you lot to get called up. It's like me, you know, you want, in the same way you want players to be the best or you want people to grow, I want you to get called up in the international scene and relish your ambitions. Of course, from a selfish point of view, if you don't get called up, there's less likelihood of injuries. Saying that, you've seen people not get called up for countries, be in training at club level and get injured. So it's one of them things there, really and truly. So I'd rather have the players to work with, but it is what it is. I can't lie, as much as I like Arteta, it's comments like that I get jarred with, because just answer, bro. Like, just answer, fam. Like, I don't know. I think our ambition should be to prepare the players with the right mindset to have the biggest ambitions. They should have the biggest ambitions. And that's probably why they're performing the way they're performing. And it will come. They have to respect those decisions and not let it end in disappointment, because this is a long run. If not, it's going to affect them negatively in their performances, in their mindset state. And that's not what we want. We want the complete opposite. That's true. We want completely the opposite. That's true. Is there any other? Because sometimes there's other little sound bites and all of these sort of things, people. That's that. Team news. On Tierney and Xhaka, we spoke about this, people. But as you know, Tierney's has bruises on his ankle. He's being assessed ahead of Sunday's game. Granit Xhaka is aiming to be back in full training early in the new year. He's making good progress, people. So apart from those two injuries, all other players in the first team are currently fit and available for selection. So if you don't get selected, it's car you ain't done the business really and truly, or doing the business. Arsenal joined Football Manager board game. That's rugby. I thought it was real Football Manager. And I think Arteta and Ramsdale have been nominated for Players and Manager of the Month. Now, I think Thomas Tuchel wins it where Mikel Arteta is concerned, but Aaron Ramsdale's there. You look at the short list, and it's a good list. Mo Salah has to win that. Everyone deserves it. I think Cornet's been a revelation since he's gone to Burnley. Ramsdale's been a revelation here. Chilwell's found his form. Telemans has been good. Foden has been good. I think Livamento's been a revelation. So 3 of the summer signings have shone up. Declan Rice moving mad for West Ham and standing out in a team where it's very difficult to stand out because everyone's playing well. Listen, I'm not going to waste any time on Mo Salah in it. If you see the name Mohamed Salah and you see Liverpool and you've been watching the Premier League in the last few years, definitely in this season, you know why his name's there. You know why we just have to move on in it. Salah can't impress me anymore because Salah, I'm used to you. It's like Messi and Ronaldo. I'm used to you doing a mazza. So it don't really impress me when you score these goals and things now because you're so good at it. You know me, we have to be a bit biased. Ramsdale's getting my vote. I'm not a robot, man, like that. You know me, I'm going to go and do some other stuff and vote on everything. Ramsdale, I did my thing for Ramsdale. Make sure you're involved, man. Make sure you're involved. But that's where the press conference is concerned, people. What else are you lot saying? Get any comments, anything you want me to cover in. 121, 10, that's that. I do think there's 2 other transfer bits and pieces that I've missed out. Let me actually make sure. Close that, close that, close that, close. Open. Make sure you lot are taking in this thing as well. What is this? Yeah, transfer business, people. Again, ISAK. Now, ISAK's been linked with us. If we look at this one first, again, ISAK's always going to be linked with us. Belotti as well. Apparently, Arsenal target is Alexander Isak wants to play in the Premier League, with Arsenal poised to pounce on their transfer target. We're also monitoring Belotti, who again is going to be a free transfer. So it could be we let Lacazette go for free and we bring one in for free. We've also been linked with Jovic as well, people. Sean Wright Phillips is saying Man City should sign Lacazette. I mean, he would enjoy it in the side, and sitting on the bench for them would be good. But yeah, man, it'd be a cost-effective one. But he'll probably score more goals there. But that's a myth, if I'm honest with you. But getting there, Alexander Isak, I wouldn't mind another Alexander. He said, I never had doubts. The only question was how long. And again, I think people gas Isak a bit. He's a good player, but people do a lot. A man said the reality of winning, it was very bad compared to the dream. He's got 100 appearances for Real Sociedad and he scored in a big clash. But I think people gas it a lot, man. And he said here, as a kid, this is horrible. This website is horrible. I need my glasses. As a kid, you always imagine the fans in the stadium, the celebrations on the street, the bus through the city. It was incredible to win. It was so special for the club, and it was my first trophy. But it's a bit sad, brother. Where's the bit about I want to play in the Prem and that? I hear all of that. I don't listen. It's not that I don't care. I love the story, but this is all a myth for me, man. He's got a good attitude. He said, I didn't hesitate to leave Sweden. It was just deciding where. In football, you never know when the next chance is going to come, and so you take it. Obviously, as a young player, you need time on the pitch. If you're not getting that at all you can do is train harder. That's what I did. I stayed longer. Later, I trained on my own as well. I knew my chance would come. If it wasn't there, I knew it would come at another club, and I wanted to be ready. He said he has no regrets. It was a good experience. He learned a lot and all these things. Brother, where is the Arsenal thing? I'm scrolling all the way down, people. Sorry, man. I like the way he's speaking, but It said that he wants to play in England and them things there. And, you know, big up his parents for obviously, you know, building a life for him and obviously escaping tragedy. But yeah, here it is, people. You know, he said he feels at home at Sociedad, but he said, I'm very happy. But one day it would be nice to play in England as well. They have 6 or 7 of the biggest clubs in the world. It's a very high level. And of course, one day it would be an alternative. So we know he's not talking about Tottenham, but you know, that's Arsenal, United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, someone who is not Spurs, you know, Conte. I'll say Conte because I would want to play for Conte. And he said, you know, fair play. Every player wants to be the best version of themselves and reach the highest possible level. I have expectations for myself and I'm trying to fulfill. So we'll see where the journey takes me in the future. Fair play. But yeah, man, it's a bit of a myth, man. So yeah, we finally got there in the end, man. I was about to say, why the hell did we click that article, man? That was clickbait central, in it, but we got there, in it. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already, people. ISAK states he wants to play in England. That's where we're going. Let me see if there's any other Arsenal transfer news or just anything. There isn't, so fuck it, it's done there. Belotti sounds realistic. I think he's just going to go to another Italian club. Vlahovic/Adeyemi hype problem fixed. ISAK is a freak on the ball, but I doubt his goal assist would be any more than Laka. I'll give him a chance, Carl. He's in his early 20s. They gas it a lot, man. They gas it a lot. DG, your thoughts on the price to bring ISAK versus other lesser known strikers? I mean, 70 million euros. I'm not. How much is that? 60 million pounds or something? I mean, ISAK's got a bag of potential, but I can't lie. For what I see from the player, I don't think he's worth it. At that moment in time, he could be. I think he's worth significantly a lot of money, but 70 million euros, we'll have to bring that down. Or if you want that, we'll have to do the Pepe thing where it's getting paid in installments and things. But the thing is, we can't get Vlahovic. Karim Adeyemi, you're hearing Real Madrid on him. So them ones, they are gone now, man. Them stupid bots didn't show up today. They did. But this is what I mean. It's like the views, the lights go up and then down. It gets mad, man. It gets mad. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing. But they're there, man. I don't even want to speak on it. I've tried not to speak on it, car. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what they're on. It's some mad hating thing, but let me see, man. Let me actually assess this. Where's the last? Where is my live? Can't even see it. The hell? Why can't I see it on my YouTube page? Nah, we're here. All right, see, it's gone from 20 something to 1. Mazzoline. But fuck her, man. Let's just ignore that, man. I'm not even trying to watch them patties, man. Not even trying to comment on them youths there, man. But it's mad, bro. It's absolute mad. Would you rather play for Jose or Oli right now? Do you know what? I mean, I'm a big Jose fan, so I'd want to play for Jose every day of the week. But for me, probably just because I would say Jose. But you know what? Oli looks like if he can gas you, you know. Maybe Oli cards. I can just do what I want in it. Like, just listen to it. The better question should be Jose or Ronaldo. Cause I think Ronaldo's the gaffer. Should we get Kayog from Celtic? He's lethal. Nah, let's leave that guy alone. He is decent. The 26-year-old, 7-year-old. Adeyemi and an Arsenal top would be cold. Make sure you're all here at 4 p.m. Well, I say here, Twitch at 4 p.m. because you'll see that. But just on Football Manager. Toro and Laka's rowing this 4-4-2 would have been phenomenal. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. True. I remember the Under-20 World Cup. There was Haaland there. There was Martinez there. There was a whole heap of options there to sweep up and move to, man. I'm bringing in an unknown striker before ISAK. But I don't think Oli does the shooting drills because with respect to Oli, I think there's a lot you could learn from a young striker. But if I'm Greenwood, the whole novelty of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wears out when I see Ronaldo there, Cavani there. I'm like, you, man, teach me how to finish in it if I don't know how to finish because he's probably the better. I can't say you're the best finisher at Man United when Ronaldo's there, but I think, I mean, if you're excluding him, Greenwood is one of the best strikers of a ball finisher, like finishing in the league and where his club is concerned, which is why I wanted him in the England squad. But, you know, if he's not involved, he's not involved in it. It is what it is. Quality player. Don't let G1 or S hear that though, man. Is what it is. Make sure you're all hitting your reminders for the watch along on Sunday as well, folks. And again, by the end of play today, you'll have 3 videos in relation to Arsenal youth players, and the loan report will be out. So 4 videos, couple videos in relation to Football Manager as well. I got to bring out the video with Graham. I got a lot to do, man. A lot to do. It is what it is. Pressure's a privilege. As a player, what does your manager getting sent off mean? What do you mean? Like if the ref has sent him off, well, then the assistant's going to take charge and all of these things. If that's the answer you're looking for. But shout out to someone. Someone's a real G. Someone's watching my Atalanta Man United watch along, and that was time ago. Appreciate that, man. You make decent content. It's always there, man. Oh, wow. For what it's worth, you know, Miguel is like Tyrese JOHN-JULES. Miguel AZEEZ hasn't been named in the under-20 side. Maybe that's because he's not playing for a club and country. You know, I mean, he's not playing for his club, but it's a bit harsh, I feel. Very harsh. I think Tyrese, you know, again, Ty's form hasn't been the best at Blackpool, so I can understand why he's been clipped. But I thought Miguel Aziz, considering the fact that he wasn't playing too much for Portsmouth when the break started, I mean, when in the last international break, and he scored for England at under 20 level, fair play. They'll come back though. They're good players. It is what it is. They just have to deal with that disappointment. And I feel the sad thing is when you've got situations like where Ty's still looking for his first goal or Miguel Aziz isn't exactly playing. I think sometimes running off and not running off, but going and playing for your country can be a different buzz. Just like with Jadon Sancho when he was selected for England. Nothing's going right at United. You know, it's a different scenario. It's a different scene. It's all this different stuff. Just get away from stuff. You know, it can be a good thing, but this is where we're at in it. This is the reality of the situation, people. And I've just typed it in and seen it. You know, let me scroll the way down if there's anything here. Yeah, he's not been called up. He's played 76 minutes now, though. He's gone up now. He's played 76 minutes, Miguel Aziz, where that's concerned. He hasn't been called up to England, so that's a bit of an L, and neither has Ty. So bit of a shame. And where Miguel Aziz is concerned, I don't know if Arsenal will, but it has to be under serious consideration to recall him from his loan spell, people. Whereas again, I don't think I spoke about this, but I think this is very interesting. And if we're signing these guys, what's the point? There's no point. I mean, we have to do this. But apparently, Mikel Arteta backs Arsenal's defense to be together for 5 to 6 years. And, you know, you're going to have to bring in a suitable defensive partner, defensive rival for Tomiyasu. You know, you hope Tavares keeps doing what he's doing. Hope Saliba or another centre half can go and complicate things because you need a squad. You need a squad of individuals. But apparently, Mikel Arteta believes Arsenal's new look defense could be their bedrock for the next half decade or even more, pointing to the quality and youthfulness of the quintet, whose average age is 26. People, you know, we've gone 8. This was before we played our last game, so we had 9 games unbeaten and all of them things. He said they have the potential to do it because of the qualities they have individually, but they complement each other with other qualities and obviously with the age group they have. He said they could play together for 5 or 6 years, and it'd be nice to see them in maturity. If we manage them well and they're willing to sustain that, they have a really bright future. And I think Gabriel will leave Arsenal very soon. I think he's gone off to one of the bigger teams in the world. Personally, I think a couple of players, a very few amount of players, but a couple of them will go and do that. He spoke about how Gabriel was crucial and how we missed him all pre-season. But yeah, man, you know, it's a good partnership between Ben White and Gabriel. Hopefully it goes from strength to strength, and hopefully Saliba or someone else next season can come and complicate that. So that's that. 165 likes. Appreciative to everyone who's hit the like button. DG finally made it to a live stream. Big up you, man. Bellerin got savaged, man. What? I don't even talk about Bellerin in the loan reports, but who cares? 10 games in and Pepe is labelled a flop by rival fans. How long till Sancho is labelled that? 14 games, no contribution. I mean, you can label it now to him now. I think Sancho will make everyone eat their words, so I wouldn't advocate it, but you can say that. Consistency is key. I only asked because Jose got sent off last week, and I wonder how the players react to that. Like other managers lost it, and who I look for calmness. To be fair, everyone loses their head. I would be this. I'd carry on the same. We just got to win the match, in it. The manager's on a passion thing as well. You know, you look at Sao Paulo is getting yellow cards all the time, storming up the technical thing all the time. Like, it all depends. It would shock me if the manager is calm like Wenger and then like he gets sent off. Then I'm like, okay, who's pissed him off? I want to ride harder for him. Pause. You know, I want to ride for him harder on the football pitch and do the thing and whatnot. You know, but it all depends. Me personally, it wouldn't shake me. I'd want to see a bit of passion for my gaffer, if I'm honest with you. And knowing the Premier League, people get sent off for next to no reason. So, it is what it is. He was posting as if he was not sure what that means. It's a bit harsh on Miguel Aziz. I don't think Southgate's doing anything to Sancho. What's he? You know, as much as I like him, and I think he should be in England's call up, and I don't like to back Southgate, but bro, like there's nothing. He don't owe him. He needs to pick the strongest team. If Sancho's not playing, like, and they don't do too much for England anyways, but you can't get the team in it, like. And there's a couple of players there that are lucky. Kane's lucky. Tammy's like a couple. Listen, you can't pick a 25-man squad on form, it will get stupid. You can't just pick everyone because you know how good they are and all their forms on a toilet. Because Grealish could have been dropped as well, but he's got that luxury of being firmly headed. And Southgate, for me, don't even deal with Grealish well enough. So it's one of them. Sancho is unlucky in that his form has been worse than some others, but has it been any worse than Kane's? Everyone's been stinking up the place. Saka's been stinking up the place to a slight degree as well, if we're honest with ourselves. But one thing, bro, Mings is in the team. Mad thing in that regards, but we kind of spoke about that earlier. Crazy. Let me see if there's any other Arsenal-related news, people. We've spoken about Guendouzi to Newcastle. Ian Wright isn't happy at all with what's gone on, really, with Southgate not calling up Smith Rowe, but it is what it is. Nothing else there, man. But yeah, man, on that note, then, people, I might as well love and leave you then. You know, there's nothing. If you lot got any questions, get a couple in, and then we can keep it moving, really. BT's acting again. Boy, I thought Sancho would be up there as assist leaders before this season. That's a myth right now. Bro, the man's 21, innit? He's never kicked a Premier League ball before. It was, you know, even if it did hit off for him, it probably wouldn't have been sustainable. Let me see if there's any other Arsenal-related stuff. As you lot have said, Sambi Lokonga has been called up to the Belgium team. You know, he's been called up with a couple of young players. That lad from Thingy's there as well. What's his name, man? Can't say that, but Childs, you know, the one at Club Brugge. So hopefully Lokonga gets some minutes and all those sort of things, man. Tavares has been called up into Portugal's under-21 side. That's that. Don't think there's anything else troubling Arsenal or in the world of Arsenal. No, it seems blessed. It seems blessed. Arsenal related FM today. Yeah, man. Man said gas for FM. See you on Twitch at 4 p.m. UK time. We're on there. We're there. You know what my team's doing. We're coping with the AFCON quite well, and it looks like we might be able to do something good. DG, what's your thoughts on changing the setup to a back three against Liverpool? We kind of spoke on that. I'm interested in doing it, but at the same time, I do think if we just keep this formation, maybe Liverpool, it's not that they won't be prepared for it. They've obviously prepared for it and seen what we're doing. But I just think maybe we'll take them a bit by surprise because they're used to us sitting back and it don't work. But at the same time, I don't even think a back three can stop us. I do think if we go to a back three, we still need to be proactive. The system should change, the philosophy to be aggressive, to try have shots, put little moves together, with the exception of being respectful to Liverpool. I don't think that should change. And I think we'll see the level of IQ on our players because you've seen it. A couple of occasions we'll play 4 and then we switch to a 3, but they're still moving like it's a 4. So it's the intelligence of what they're doing. So it is something to consider, you know, especially to stop Mr. Mohamed Salah. Respectfully, Jota has scored against us. Mane's bullied us. Firmino's just disrespected us anytime he's played against us, and the rest of them have chipped in. You know, maybe it will help us just a bit better cope with the late Liverpool runners, cope with the overloads, cope with wide areas. But again, players have it. The formation is only a formation, as you know. It's about the system and our outlook. And I think a couple of times we've been naive across this quote unquote somewhat unbeaten run. Liverpool will make you pay for that. So I am interested to go to a back four against Liverpool, if I'm completely honest. Free apologies against Liverpool. But it all depends the philosophy, how you want to do it, and how you go about it. Because, you know, other people do stuff. Other people switch to a back three and still play somewhat attacking football. Ours isn't necessarily that. So you get the point, man. Something crazy to consider. Should we make that time stop? Should we go back three versus Liverpool / LOKONGA, Belgium? Cool up. Sweet. Sweet and sweet. Was Odegaard worth signing? Yeah, I think it's only, you know, it's only come in the last 3 games people have restarted that stuff about is he good enough, because I think he's been playing well. Right now his form's deserted him, needs to get back with it. Smith Rowe should be ahead of you. I do think against Watford, Smith Rowe is going to be moved to the left-hand side and Odegaard's going to come back in, but you have to keep it true. If you're not doing your job, if we had other wingers around, Saka might get dropped off the right wing. You know, Smith Rowe is doing well in the last 3 games, but there was a time you could have been dropped. Aubameyang could have been dropped, you know. The defenders, Tomiyasu could have been dropped on occasions. Lokonga could have been dropped from midfield, you know. The only people that I think are untouchable in the Arsenal team at this moment, like other players are playing well, but I think Gabriel, Ramsdale, they've laid down a marker. Probably missing out 1-2 others, but they're the ones off the top of my head. No, Odegaard, please, not good enough. Bit harsh. I respect your opinion. Very harsh on him, though. All I'd say is it's just down to him to prove you wrong, innit? It is what it is. Odegaard is still young, and let's not forget, I think he won us 4 or 6 points on his own this season already. Odegaard's part of having a diverse squad in terms of talent and abilities. Trust. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. In the same way I'm looking at Gabriel, I think Ben White's doing well. I thought I want to see, and it's testament to Gabriel, and Ben White's doing well, but I want to see a bit more from Ben White, as good as he's been. I want to see you look like the 50 million pound man, because you should look like the leader of the defense, not Gabriel. And that's the same with Smith Rowe and Odegaard. With respect to Smith Rowe, and I know it's a squad game and all these things, but there should be no contest. Smith Rowe should be the secondary pack. So, you know, Smith Rowe shouldn't, that you are from Real Madrid, you done your thing at Sociedad, you're quite experienced, because Smith Rowe's really 10 months ago, he weren't near the first team like this. So there should be a gulf in talent. Now, that's testament to Smith Rowe, but that's what I'm saying. I need to see a bit more from Odegaard, because my eyes are telling me, testament to Smith Rowe, he deserves to start, but there should be no contest. And for me, I like the competition around places, because it's been too easy to pick teams and numbers and who plays for Arsenal. And I think even with our form, I think there's a bit of that. But we're getting there, man. I'm seeing a more competitiveness. It seemed like at before players were disillusioned because they'd never get a chance. Now it's like certain players, they might not get a chance, but they've been given one. They're taking it now. Players that are starting are taking it because they want there to be a reason to start. And I like that. You know, competitive in all aspects of the word is what we should aspire to have. Not just this as well. Come on, big up you, man. How is Kolasinac still playing for us? We couldn't move him on in it, and that's 100 bags a week. So it's probably one of them ones, isn't it? You just one of them. It's like when you go shopping and you try, you say, "Let me buy that packet of crisps. Let me try a new thing." I don't know about you lot, but the other day I thought I can't remember the packet of crisps. I thought, let me try this new one. It was like £2.50 or something. Like, and I was like, nah, I'm eating it. Like, I don't even like it. I'm finishing it. Like, this, bro, we can't in it. So it's one of them ones. You bought it, you wasted peas, you got to use it, man. And there'll be a drop in form with Smith Rowe as well, like there was. I think people don't look at these narratives. There'll be there's 38 games, you know, and we've got an average squad age of 23. It's a lot to ask, man. Even the guys that are performing right now, you know, a month can change things. Everybody's loving Partey now. Where have we been there? Lokonga here and there. Ben White. Well, man are going to go up and down. Gabriel and Ramsdale, they're going to have underwhelmingness. Tomiyasu. It's difficult to perform week in, week out in this league, let alone over 38 games. The man there, average age of our squad's, 23? It's very naive to really expect to see a certain amount of consistency. Now, there is obviously certain players within that team that I expect a bit more out of than others. You know, again, if we just look at it, you know, in terms of it, Ramsdale's been here 2 minutes, but Ramsdale, Tierney, Gabriel, you lot are somewhat significantly more experienced than the younger men. Even Gabriel, when you look at it, Ben White's actually more experienced than him. He's played more games in the career than him, really. If I can remember off the top of my head. But I'm looking at you lot to be the leaders, obviously. So I'm expecting at Odegaard the same. I'm expecting you to be the leader, and you've shown it at times. But it's testament to Smith Rowe. But also I'm looking at you. It's looking at Thingy, looking at what's his face, Tierney and Tavares. There should be no opportunities there. For me, every day of the week, Tavares is second fiddle to Tierney. But if we're keeping it true on what we're seeing, You can't chat to him, Tierney. So go and get your spot back. And testament to Tavares. You should look like someone that we were screaming about being captain. Tavares right now don't look like an inexperienced under 21-year-old. So they're doing their thing. Hopefully it can continue. And, hopefully the competition, it can only benefit Arsenal. But everyone's going to be a hero and villain across this season. Everyone's going to get their time. I firmly believe that. Everyone's going to, like I said, be a hero and a villain. Pick up yourself, John. The squad needs more quality in it before that happens. Give a chance. Give Odegaard a chance. He has the ability to be a double-digit man in the league. I think so. But Tino is saying double digits. Nah, come on, let's hit 200. Like, it's about time Arsenal thought about depth, not just a starting 11. I hear that we need to get a certified 11. We're moving somewhat there. Would like another midfielder ideally. But you're right. You need a depth thing because there's going to be times, can we do a thing? Because it's always the guy that isn't involved at Arsenal that is the Messiah. We didn't beat Brighton. Man are screaming, "Where's Laka? Where's Xhaka?" It's always the guys that are not involved that are the heroes. There's gonna be times we've seen Crystal Palace put in a shift against us without Zaha. We've been, we got bopped against Brighton where they were missing two of their players in Basuma and Webster. We need to sometimes Aubameyang might not play, so Pepe and Laka might have to do a thing. Saka might have to get dropped. Saka might, not be the guy again. We need different options. Martinelli might have to come in. Again, what we need to move from is that there's a significant drop off in quality because a man's not there. Even in that defensive unit, God forbid, if something happens to Ben White and Gabriel, I would love it to be Saliba, but I need to know, and because you see it at other clubs, I need to know, have we actually got a good defensive unit? Because you can see with Brighton, you can tell they understand defending because they can chop and change 1-2 defenders and the drop-off isn't there. Yeah, you'll see him missing, but it's still kind of there. I need to know if something happens to one of them centre-halves. I'm not asking Holding to play like Gabriel or Beto Marie, but I need to know that it's not glaringly obvious. Like we've not gone from, I don't know, a 7 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10. We might drop down to a 6.5 or 5, but you get where I'm going. It's a squad game. Sometimes phases of injuries are harsher than others and you get significantly more layoff than others, but you lot are smart enough to understand and comprehend that point truly in all of it. Good opinion though, man. DG spitting facts, Enfield Einstein. You're moving bad. Would Gabriel, White, Saliba, and Holding/Chambers be the pecking order if the Frenchman returns? I think so. But I think it will be Saliba/Holding/Holding. I think Chambers will be moved on, or even Holding could be because you can make some profit there. And Saliba should come in being third choice. But when you get your chance, go and complicate it. Go and take Gabriel or Saliba or Ben White's spot. Go and make them want it back. I don't care that he's bought for 50 million. Go and complicate his life. Simple as that. Go and complicate it. And that goes for anyone else who signs for this club. Go and make things difficult. Is what it is in that regards, man. But yeah, on that note, people, we've got a busy day. I need to clip up some content and bring it out for you lot. So I'm going to get out of here. It's been a fantastic one. We've spoken about, we've previewed the game. We've looked at Arsenal's press conference, Arteta's press conference. We've spoken about Guendouzi in a couple transfer news. It's been fantastic, people. As I say, make sure you're setting your alarm bells on YouTube and Twitch. We've got content today, content tomorrow, content Sunday. Again, we're doing, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Watford, Man United, Man City. Again, watch-alongs galore. 4 p.m. I'll be playing Football Manager. So, yeah, man, make sure you're taking in the content. Hit the like button for me and all of them things. And you lot stay safe, man. Enjoy what's left of your Friday, man. I appreciate that you lot have been rocking with the guys. So, on that note, safe.